Yeah, he has been evasive about answering that question. Now, he's just weird enough that he could be evasive to be evasive.
Yeah.
But normally when you're evasive about answering a question, and that's at least the third very public time he's been asked about it this postseason.
He gone.
There's normally a reason you're evasive. I mean, one of two things. You're either trying to maximize your next contract at Michigan or you're going to the NFL.
Yeah,
those are really the only two possibilities.
I don't think it's about maximizing the contract. I mean, he can get whatever he wants to stay at Michigan.
You would have to think.
Yeah, I think they would give him anything. I think look, obviously he loves the program. He played there. He's already done something the guy that he idolizes in Bo Schembechler never did.
That's right.
And he wins the first outright since 48. And it's just as hard or harder to maintain than to build. And so now it's about, and things are going to get more difficult in the Big Ten. They're going to get more difficult in college football. For him to be able to keep intact the core players that he did over the last 4 and 5 years has been incredible. You just can't do that today. And so I think the easier path with the NCAA hovering over is going to be to go to the NFL. And I think that's ultimately what he's going to do.
And I think the success of his brother and his success on the collegiate level makes him attractive to most any franchise.
Yeah.
I mean, I think any franchise would be happy to have Jim Harbaugh. And he's coached in a Super Bowl before. Let's don't forget that.
But the question would be, if you can go to the Chargers and be anonymous in L.A., you're a Midwest guy, would you rather be in Chicago? You've got all of that draft equity, but you're going to be a known commodity because Chicago fans know their sports. L.A., nobody will know who that dude is.
Yeah.
Washington, L.A., Chicago, and now Las Vegas, and there seems to be some mutual interest, according to reports last night, between the bad haircut Davis family and Jim Harbaugh with Las Vegas.
Don't do it. Davises don't like to spend money. They're in a bad contract situation right now with Garoppolo, who's not even playing for them.
Yep.
To me, there's just better options out there.
Give me those teams again.
Washington, Chargers, Chicago, and Las Vegas. Obviously, Chicago in the Midwest. Los Angeles Chargers. He lived in San Diego for a very long time. He played for the Chargers as well.
Which one of those? Give me all of those that have a stable quarterback situation. Which ones?
There's only Justin Herbert.
There's your answer.
Yeah.
And I think Chicago is going to be stable, whether you draft Caleb Williams or you keep with Justin Fields. I think those are good quarterbacks.
I just don't want to draft a quarterback. And I said this about Nick Saban when people were talking about him going to the NFL. I didn't immediately discount it because you can't really discount coaches moving. But I always said and I would say the same of Jim Harbaugh. Well, I can't say the same of Jim Harbaugh, but if I were Nick Saban, I would never have taken an NFL job that didn't have a proven Super Bowl quarterback, a guy that had shown me he could get to the Super Bowl. And I know those are few and far between. I completely understand that. But that's how selective I would have been. I am not going to go try to rebuild. I'm not going to go draft quarterback. I'm not going to go take a middling quarterback and try to turn him into a Super Bowl guy. The only job, if I had been Nick Saban, I would have ever taken in the NFL after all my success at Alabama would have been one that had a proven Super Bowl quarterback. Now, Harbaugh, I think, obviously is he's itching to get back to the NFL, so he's not going to be quite as selective, I don't think. But I certainly would not take one where I've got a draft quarterback. That's just, there's no formula to get that right.
If you feel like, and there are people that feel like Caleb Williams is a generational quarterback.
Yep.
And if you feel like he's an Andrew Luck coming out.
People felt the same way about Ryan Leaf and many others.
Oh, they thought he was going to be really good. They were
debating Leaf or Manning.
I get that, but I don't think anybody said he's a generational guy.
Well, if you're debating him or Manning, you're saying that because everybody thought Manning was for dang sure.
One thing you need, and Nick didn't have this in Miami, is final say-so over the roster like Belichick has in New England. That way he could have taken Drew Brees, despite what the doctors were saying, and not forced to take the quarterback they ended up taking.
Which is Dante Culpepper.
Right.
Yeah.
So Brees at Miami could have changed Nick Saban's fortune.
Well, there's no doubt. And Miami's and college footballs.
Yeah, and New Orleans.
Yeah, there were a lot of trickle-down.
Roman Harper's. It could have changed everybody's
It changed
life.
a lot of fortunes on that one medical decision by Miami's doctors.
So it'll be interesting to see what kind of deal Harbaugh gets. I am going to go here and tell you that Jim Harbaugh, this version of Jim Harbaugh, comes across as a college coach. He no longer acts and talks like that guy that led the San Francisco 49ers to the NFC Championship. I don't know if it's medication. I don't know if it's an act. I don't know what it is. but he has gotten more quirky with age, his time at Michigan. I just don't see the way he acts now on camera. If that is him in real life, I don't see that playing well in NFL locker rooms.
Well, I mean,
and I think it'll be a disaster.
That was one of the problems in San Francisco is like a lot of the guys didn't like him. I mean, at least that was the reports. He had a lot of success, so I do think the weirdness would be something to look at. And
now times that a decade later when players have a decade more power.
But I would say this, he knows the NFL, so he can reacclimate to the NFL. Like, I don't go to church enough, but when I go to church, I know how to act.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But
Just don't know the words to any of the worshiping songs.
Don't they put them on the screen, though?
I mean, I guess they do, but most people know those words.
Yeah, to some songs, yeah. Some of them are new. Sometimes the music leader will get up and say, hey, we got a new song. You're going to learn it with us today. And you're like, okay, we got a new one.
I hadn't been to a library, but what do you do when you walk into a library?
You get quiet and you read a book.
You're supposed to. You're supposed to take your hat off for the national anthem.
Yep.
I mean, there are certain things you know. Just not sure this version of Jim Harbaugh.
But would you want to deal with the shit that is coming?
In college football?
Well, not only that, but I'm talking about
Michigan.
the NCAA. I mean, it's just going to be nonstop, and he has an opportunity to go out on top.
Give me cut two, Rockstar. I think if you don't think any crap's coming, then you're not worried about it. Jim Harbaugh last night gets asked about the cheating scandal, the recruiting scandal, the six game suspension, and in his head, this is what he believes. Here's Jim Harbaugh.
This was not a season where everything went the way you wanted it to. There was the off-the-field issues, which we all know about. Can you talk about the satisfaction having overcome those as well to get to this point? Does it make it even sweeter?
Can I? Yeah, it couldn't have gone better. It went exactly how we wanted it to go, to win every game. The off-the-field issues, we're innocent. And we stood strong and tall because we knew we were innocent. And I just like to point that out. And these guys are innocent. And yeah, overcome that. It wasn't that hard because we knew we were innocent. So yeah, that's really what I want to say. It went exactly how we wanted it to go. It went exactly how we wanted it to go.
Kind of weird that they knew they were innocent and they accepted a Big Ten punishment at the end of the season. I would like to point that out.
And that's another. I think he can be bold because he's about to bolt.
Four times he said the word innocent.
Yeah.
And I do believe in today's culture of social media and everybody's got the power of the iPhone in their hand, that if you say something enough people will start to believe it. So that's just really good PR. If I was coaching him up, I would say, any chance you get, use the word innocent. Innocent, innocent, innocent. 4 times he said innocent last night. And in our culture, the more he says it, the more people will believe it. Brilliant move by him last night. Didn't let the players jump into that. And back to him leaving or not leaving and him saying, can I just enjoy this? There is a part of me that has always been uncomfortable as a quote-unquote journalist, which is why I never claimed to be a journalist. I'm an entertainer. If I was the coach, I'd want to enjoy the night. We can worry about where I'm going to be on Tuesday.
Yeah, look,
on Monday, I know I'm getting paid millions, but on Monday, I've worked my butt off for several years now to get my school back to this, and I'm going to enjoy this tonight. I'll worry about the NFL on Tuesday.